Morimoto has just released a new set of XB LED headlights for the 18 and up Ford F150. These ones are designed to be a little bit more affordable, but still provide that insane punch down the road that they're known for. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how they install and, more importantly, just how much better they are compared to the halogen headlights. Now, before we dive right into the install of these headlights on this truck, I want to tell you guys about them because, as you probably know, the XB LED headlights have been out for a little while from Morimoto, and these look nothing like it. So you can see we've got 2 projectors here instead of the 4, but the cool part about these is normally when you get a more affordable version of a product, there's a sacrifice somewhere, and in this case, they still have the 5-year warranty that the original headlights do. Morimoto still backs them 100%. They just have a halogen turn signal instead of the scrolling sequential setup on the other headlights. And of course, rather than the 4 projectors, they simply have 2. As you're about to see, they're still insanely bright and they still annihilate the halogen low beam that you see on this truck. Now, you're not going to do all of this work and leave the halogen turn signal in this headlight, I'm assuming. So in just a little bit here, I'm going to show you guys how you can upgrade it to LED really quickly with the GTR Lighting Carbide CAN Bus 2.0s. They slap right in. You don't need to do any wiring. You don't need to splice in a resistor. It's a slick product. The combination of that with this headlight gets you a really clean, nice looking front end on your truck, and it is insanely bright. Now, my favorite feature about the XB LED headlights is the insanely bright white DRL on the outside. I've had the original XBs on my truck for 2 years now, and it is my favorite feature by far, and in my opinion, it's worth the entire process by itself. Now, even though these trucks are brand new and they might look a little bit daunting, they aren't too bad to take apart, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it. Now, the first step in removing your headlights is popping the hood. Now, on some of these trucks, there's a cover across the top here. If you've got that cover, go ahead and pull the plastic clips that remove it to expose the grill bolts and the headlight bolts on the sides. The next step is removing 2 7mm screws from each wheel well. One here and one here. With the screws removed, you can pry the flare away from the plastic piece above the bumper. You can use your hands to just pop it free like that. Do the same thing for both sides. Now, with the hardware removed from each wheel well, we can remove this plastic painted piece from below the grill here. All you have to do is pull it toward you, start from one side, work your way across, and be careful not to drop it. With the clips loosened up, you can pull this away and set it off to the side. At this point, we're going to remove the grill from the truck. There are 4 10mm bolts holding it on up top, and there's 2 connectors right here in the center that you need to remove. Go ahead and unplug those. And remove the 4 10mm bolts. At this point, you can gently pull the grill toward you. Set it off to the side. Now, underneath the headlight, you're going to need an 8mm socket. Remove this single 8mm bolt from the front. The rest of the bolts are 10mm. Now, there's a little air duct here, and you're going to want to push that down. With those bolts removed, you can push it down far enough to get the headlight out. As you can see, it just clips into the headlight right there. Now, there's 2 bolts remaining, one here and one here. Remove those. And with all of those bolts removed, you can pull the headlight toward you and away from the vehicle. There's a couple plugs on the back. Go ahead and press in on the tab to remove them. Now, there are 2 parts you need to remove from your original headlight before we can set it off to the side completely. You need to take out your factory turn signal plug Twist it counterclockwise, pop it out. It's got a halogen bulb. I'll show you guys a little something for that in a second. And then we need to remove this bottom bracket here. It's held on by 3 Torx screws. They're T25 in size. We need to remove those and transfer this bracket to our new headlight. With the bracket removed, we can set this headlight off to the side. At this point, we can install our bracket on the bottom of the headlight. Bracket slides into place just like this. As you can see, Morimoto's got the 3 bosses on the bottom here that the screws thread into. Now with the bracket installed, you have a decision to make. You can reinstall your original halogen bulb into the headlight and it's going to work fine. If you don't mind having a halogen bulb up front after doing all of this work, you can certainly do that. And you're going to have a functional turn signal. It's just the same one you had before. Or you can remove that bulb and install the GTR Lighting Carbide CAN Bus 2.0 bulb. What's sweet about this is it's one of the only bulbs on the market today that does not require a resistor. What this means for you is you do not need to splice any resistor wiring in, you don't need to mount a resistor, you don't have to do any additional work. You can install this bulb, plug it into the headlight, and you'll get a crisp switchback turn signal that is an unbelievably bright amber. That's what we're doing today. There's a little cover on the turn signal slot right here. Insert the turn signal socket and lock it in place. Now our headlight is all prepped and ready to be installed in the truck, but we need to run a DRL harness first. What the DRL harness allows us to do is power this outside white DRL strip on the headlight, and trust me, you're gonna love it. Now the way the fuse tap harness itself works is very simple. You've got this little fuse tap here, you've got this length of harness, it runs to each headlight. There's 2 plugs on it, 1 plug goes to the passenger side headlight, 1 plug goes to the driver's side headlight. I'll show you the connector in a second. And what we're gonna do is remove a 10 amp fuse from our fuse box, plug this in its place, close the lid over the wiring, and run that wiring up to our headlights. Your fuse box is on the passenger side of the vehicle. Go ahead and remove the lid. And the fuse we're going to be working with is fuse number 36. It's this red 10 amp fuse right here. There are 2 25 amp fuses located right next to it. This is the one we're working with. Remove the 10 amp fuse and install your fuse tap in that exact same spot. Just like that. Now you can run the wire through the fuse box lid, close the lid, just like that. From the fuse box, you can run this wiring down to your passenger side headlight and across the radiator over to your driver's side headlight. You can zip tie all of this up nicely once you're all done with the work. Route the longer end of the harness across the radiator and pass your wiring through to the driver's side headlight opening. Now we can finally install our XB headlight. Thanks to these headlights being a truly plug-and-play design, all you have to do at this point is bring the headlight to the truck, go ahead and connect your turn signal. We've got a 4-pin black plug here that supplies your low and high beam. Connect that. This goes to our marker light connector. And this last plug right here with the blue wire is for our DRL. This goes to the DRL harness that we just ran. Now you can install your headlight. It fits back in the opening exactly like the original one came out. And as you can see, it fits just like the original headlight did, if not better. Now, I'm going to run through these steps in reverse, reassemble the truck, do the same thing I just did on the passenger side, and I'll show you guys exactly how much better these are compared to the stock lights. Now before I show you guys just how great these new XB headlights are, I gotta show you the stock light output first. This is probably something you're pretty familiar with. The stock low beam came in at 230 maximum lux. Lux is the best way for us to tell exactly how bright the new headlights are and how dim the old ones were. 230 is not great. The nice part about the Fords is they've got a nice low beam pattern, but I expect the XB LED headlights to be even better. Now the Morimoto XB LED headlight low beam did not disappoint in beam pattern or brightness. As you can see, it is exceptionally bright, it's nice and wide, and it came in at 960 maximum lux. Let me remind you, the factory beam pattern came in at 230 maximum lux. That's a big jump in brightness, and look at how clean that cutoff line is. I know this is their more affordable line of headlights, but you'd never know it. It's extremely bright. This is going to be an awesome headlight to drive with in the dark. Let's check out the high beam. Now the stock halogen high beam comes in at 680 maximum lux, and as you can see, it just illuminates over that cutoff line And that's what we're going to look for when it comes to the XB LED headlights. We want to find something that's got that nice low beam still with a punchy high beam. Having said all that, let's check out the XB headlights. Now the XB LED high beam came in at 1,480 maximum lux. As you can see, we pick up light above that cutoff line, which is perfect. That's what we're looking for. And compared to 680 from the factory, that's a good jump. If you're looking for a nice way to dress up the front of your truck and get a punchy low and high beam, this is the way to do it. As you can clearly see, these XB LED headlights maintain that beautiful bright DRL that Morimoto is known for. They've got that crisp, nice cutoff line. I really like these headlights, and for an affordable option, you really couldn't go wrong. Now, if you need anything else for your Ford F-150, you need reverse lights, anything like that. We've had this particular truck for 2 years. We've done everything to it. You can find it on our channel. Click subscribe. We got a lot of videos coming out on it. You don't want to miss any of them.